Now, when you say anxiety, what really does it mean? Because all of us get anxious at some point in time. When we have to appear for an exam as a student, or well, even when guests are coming home, something has to be cooked, or a report has to be submitted in a given deadline at office. These are all times which make us a little anxious, and that anxiety is actually very good for us as well, because that anxiety sets off an adrenaline response which makes us work more efficiently, faster, better, think with more clarity, think more quickly. So this is the kind of mild anxiety that all of us want, which helps us function better. So then when is it that we need to worry about anxiety? When this anxiety, instead of being situational, becomes a permanent issue, it stays with us. And then it keeps growing in our minds to the extent when we are faced with a small challenge, guests coming home, or a report to be submitted, we become so anxious and so stressed that we really don't know what to do. Uh, there is confusion in the mind instead of clarity. The whole expression on the face changes. There is sweating. You feel like your heart is beating much faster than usual. Uh, there is too much of worry all the time and you lose sleep over things, and that affects your health. Then definitely that kind of anxiety needs to be managed. And in yoga, there are very simple ways to manage this anxiety. Well, having said that, I'm sure all of you want me to answer the question of how does one really deal with anxiety? Well, we believe there are five very simple ways to deal with anxiety to start with. The first way is the art of letting go. The second is stretching a lot, which yogasanas help you do. The third is the process of dynamic exercise. When we say dynamic exercise, movement, it doesn't have to be something as strenuous as going and exercising till you're out of breath. Even gentle movements, simple movements, they make you feel happier. Fourth is deep breathing, which definitely yoga with its pranayams and very simple breathing practices also can bring to you. And the fifth is relaxation. So these are really the five mantras we believe which can help you deal with anxiety in a much better manner. So the first process is the process of letting go. When these thoughts come to mind, what we tell ourselves, it's very, very important. Okay, it's there. Let me shed these thoughts for now. Let me keep them aside. And a resolution and a determination to keep them aside. The thought will come back. But when you are aware, you identify this is a useless thought, I need to keep it aside. And the mind starts listening to you. You are able to keep it aside. When you are not aware, what happens? The thoughts start creating a traffic in the mind. And by the time you become aware, it's too late to deal with it because that traffic has become your reality. It's difficult at that point to get out of it. So when the thoughts start coming, that's the time to start letting them go. Okay, keep it aside, I'll deal with it. Let me go ahead. Let me do my thing, I'll deal with this thought later. So a physical feeling that I am dropping the thought, as if you are actually taking it out of the mind and dropping it. When you keep practicing this, after some time, it becomes natural. If this becomes still difficult, there is another thing to say. Okay, let me think of this tomorrow. The minute you say, let me think of this tomorrow, the thought is diluted. It is not as intense as it is today. And it is easier to manage. So letting go of the thought or simply telling yourself, Let me think of this tomorrow is a very, very good first step to deal with anxiety. Step 2, stretching. Why many of us who practice yoga are so addicted to it? It's because when you stretch in the various asanas, these asanas and this stretching, it activates the parasympathetic nervous system. When we are anxious, it is the sympathetic nervous system which is into overactivity. The minute we stretch, the parasympathetic system takes over and it counters the thoughts in the sympathetic nervous system. Also, stretching, it helps release endorphins, the happy hormones, and that itself brings about a change in mindset. We are going to do a simple asana, which is going to be forward bending, Hastapadasana, keeping our feet together, hands by the side of the body. First, just center yourself. The chin is parallel to the floor. The shoulders are relaxed. Now take the hands up. Give a slight backward bend. Stretch the spine. Start bending forward. The head is still up. Push the buttocks back. Stretch forward. Slowly go down. Take the hands down, head down. Use your capacity. Do not overstrain at the same time. Stretch down without folding your knees. Slowly come up, just sliding your hands up. No need to raise them again. And come to center. Now we are going to do a backward bend. People with any lordosis, please avoid this practice. Place your palms behind the waist. The fingers are pointing down, thumb in front. Roll your shoulders back, elbows back. Take your head back, spine back. Bend the whole upper trunk backwards. Stay there, feel the expansion of the chest. Enjoy the backward bend. Very good. Slowly come to center and relax. I'd like to explain that when we do an asana, there is a psychotherapeutic effect of an asana. When we bent forward, we were actually letting go physically. In the beginning, I told you, you let go mentally, but when you bend forward, you are actually letting go physically. And that's very important. When you bend back, you're actually gathering all your courage to face the world. Turning the head up, expanding the chest, not easy. It's difficult when there are fears in the mind. So bending back, very important to let go of those fears and to develop courage within oneself.